Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam Mckola. He is Joe Smith. He is Casey Evans. Nice. Did I get your surname right?
Yep, you got my surname right.
Did you want me putting your full government name on the internet?
That's fine.
Well, it's out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
We are here for the Stretford Paddock preview of the Carabao Cup quarter-final against Everton. Carlo Ancelotti's Everton. Carlo Ancelotti's return to form Everton, having beaten Leicester City and Arsenal in their last couple of games. They are back in form now, and Manchester United will be going to Goodison Park expecting a big, big challenge. Will both teams be making changes? Will Dominic Calvert-Lewin cause us problems? Will Manchester United lift the trophy this season? Will fixture congestion hurt us? We will be discussing all those things in this video. But before we move on,
Yes? You all right?
You sprung a leak.
Oh, you're going to win the league? Is that what you're...
21 comment?
Yeah, it might be. But this isn't about the league, though, is it? This is about the League Cup, which, if anything, is better. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a little starter, a little hors d'oeuvre for the league. Because obviously, when is it? February, the trophy? Something like that. I never know. It's early, isn't it? And I think we should take this cup seriously.
Yeah,
I think it's a very good entryway. I think it's a very good sort of path, sort of stepping stone on the way to the bigger trophies. Yeah. A little passage, yeah, exactly. I think it's a really good way to go from being a team that's not won anything together. I know Pogba won the Europa League and this player won this and that, but Bruno hasn't won anything at United.
Not with this manager.
Maguire, not with this manager, of course. Tellez, Wan-Bissaka. There's a lot of players in this team who have never won a trophy at Manchester United.
Some never won a trophy.
Some have never won a trophy. And I just think that it would be a massive and valuable step to start a winning mentality, to start, actually, you know what, when it matters, because it's not just about, winning the League Cup, because it's probably the least valuable of all the tournaments we're in.
Excuse me, Joe, I'll have you know it's England's premier competition.
It's England's third most premier competition, unless you're Man City, and then it might as well be the Champions League.
Unless you win it, and then it is. It's like the Community Shield. It's not a trophy until you win it.
Yeah, exactly. But I just think that it's a great way for the players to experience pressure, and we've seen it a lot with different teams. I think City won the League Cup before they won the league. I think Chelsea did the same thing, I believe. Was it Conte? I think they won the League Cup. I'm not sure about that. I think
Conte won the... He won... No. I don't know.
Anyway, it's been a path into it, and we saw City do that in particular, where as a team, you get used to having high-pressure matches where you need to win that game, and then you do it. That's a great, experience for the Premier League, where toward the end of the season, obviously, it's not going to be a semi-final. But for instance, the game against Leicester the weekend, or the games against Arsenal and Liverpool and Chelsea toward the end of the season, where there's a high-pressure game. You know that if you win this game, you've got a good chance of winning the title, and you get used to winning those big games. And obviously, the fact that you get a trophy is a little bit extra. But I just think, it's a great stepping stone, and it doesn't take away from the league the way that the Europa League does. Personally, I think we need to go out and win it.
We have to definitely have that mentality for sure. And I love how I asked you how you're doing, and you basally just ruined the first topic.
You said Carabao Cup.
There's no intro with Joe. It's just straight in.
Well, I wanted to talk about the Carabao Cup.
No foreplay.
No.
The first topic that Joe ruined was like winning a trophy, how important it is. But when you speak about that, I immediately, when I think of how important the League Cup can be, I think of Wayne Rooney, Ronaldo, all those guys lifting the trophy when Gary Neville's first trophy as captain, obviously under Sir Alex Ferguson, and that kind of was the start for that team to grow and blossom and become the winners of the league that they became and the champions of Europe and everything. And there was a lot of people's first trophies in that squad as well, and it could act like the same kind of catalyst for further success and something that makes Ollie feel like he's at home. But you have to win it, and there's still a lot of difficult teams left in the mix. How do you feel about not only this fixture, but this cup competition? Is it important? Should it be treated as important, considering the fact that, although we say 21 is coming, the likelihood is probably isn't, unfortunately. So we need to target other trophies, right?
Yeah. Like Joe said, it's probably the least for want of a better word, intrusive. Invasive of all the other ones. It doesn't seem to go into the fix. Like FA Cup runs long into the season. Because it starts later. Europa League will be on Thursday nights. Champions League runs late. It's like it doesn't start effective. Once it's February, it's done. It's over. No one really cares. I think it is important because it's the way that seems to be around Solskjaer and around this team that when they win, it's kind of like, fair enough, they should have won. And then when they lose, they get beaten like with it like a stick. Like, obviously, the 3 semi-final things is a big thing around Solskjaer. Like, they say, oh, this team doesn't have the mentality. He doesn't have the mentality to go forward and win a trophy. And if he's like, obviously, like, not the be-all and end-all, I have won the Carabao Cup. But if he has that in his locker and he says, well, we have it and we can go and win a trophy and we've shown we can go and win a trophy, there's no reason that even in these competitions where the competition might be harder, the competition might be longer, we might be tired, you've done it before, lads. Go and do it again. So in that sort of sense, it is a trophy I want us to take seriously, because at the moment we're still in all of them. And the fact is we always see that situation with United where we say, oh, we're still in this trophy, we're still in that trophy, we're still in this competition, and then it just drops off all at once. Like, we dropped out of the Champions League. I don't want us to then go and drop out of the Carabao Cup and then get into the FA Cup, and we go like a couple of rounds and then drop out of that, and the Premier League kind of falls apart, because it seems to all come together in this.
Because we're not going to win all 4, are we?
No,
let's be
not,
honest. Like, obviously, we want to try to win every game we play.
Yeah.
But we ain't going to end the season by winning the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Europa League. That just isn't going to happen. So, like, yeah, you've got to sort of prioritise or certainly take seriously all of these competitions, because if you do that, you might win one of them.
Yeah, because like we said, the Europa League is going to get a lot harder. Like, there is a chance, like someone like Arsenal or someone like Tottenham, I don't know I can't actually think off the top of my head who's still in the competition, but will end up being like, we need to do well in the league. Let's just throw our youth team out and get beaten by someone like Gillingham. Like, that happens so much in the League Cup, so you don't have to worry about, some of the bigger teams don't care about it. You don't have to worry about them. You get to the Europa League, you get to the FA Cup. Those later stages, they care so much, because most of them are like, well, our season's gone to pot. Let's try and get this trophy. And that's the sense of when then you're fighting against people who are trying to do last-ditch attempts, and in that case, anything could happen.
And it's always anything could happen. We've seen in the League Cup a few times. Fucking MK Dons knocked us out.
Well, you mentioned the teams left. I'll just recap the teams left. It is the last 8, so semi-finals at stake. Brentford against Newcastle, Arsenal against City. You would consider that to be a difficult game, but you know you'd assume City will go through. Yeah. Stoke against Tottenham.
Pep against the man who put out his cons was the Arsenal.
And Everton against Man United. So you'd imagine the last 4 could be Man City, Spurs, United, or Everton, and that's a difficult last 4, or part of the last 4. Obviously, Brentford or Newcastle.
Stoke are doing strangely well. That's that. Like, when you were leading out those names, I was like thinking, there'll be probably like a team in there that I won't expect, but Stoke.
Brentford and Stoke are the only non-Premier League team.
Brentford makes sense because Brentford have that weird style of play where it's like they got rid of. They obviously have a lot of
Barcelona style of play.
He's just channeling Andy Tate, aren't you? Andy was here yesterday, but Adam's decided I'm going to carry his spirit.
I missed him yesterday, so I have to pretend he's here today.
But yeah, it's like, because obviously Brentford have got a lot of players that now play in the Premier League. They had Watkins, they had Benrahma. They've now kind of replaced those with like-for-like replacements. I think Ivan Toney's one of the top scorers in the Championship, so they've got a very good.
From Peterborough, was it Peterborough? Got that wrong.
I think so, yeah. But he's been playing really well, and the thing is like, you look at that team and like top of the Championship, there's always one of those teams, and then you think, oh yeah, but then as I said, Stoke it just confuses me.
It's a tough people left in that, and it's one of them where you look through it, and there are some lesser teams, if you want to call it that. But like I said, at the end of this tie, at the end of this set of fixtures, you're either going to have Arsenal or City in there, most likely City. You're probably going to have Tottenham.
Is it still a double-headed semi-final?
I think it's just single legs this time. I'm not certain about that, but I'm pretty sure it's just single legs, which I think will help United, to be honest. But yeah, there's still good teams in there. It's always harder to win than you think, because City win it every year. So it's going to be difficult to dethrone Man City, because they're good in cups. They know how to win this tournament. But I do think it's a big one that United need to take it seriously for sure.
Defo. I want to see us take that seriously. With the fixtures piling up at the moment, potential squad rotation. Now, it's weird when you're coming into a quarter-final and almost you expect rotation in the squad. But one of the luxuries for Manchester United, I mean, if you look at the bench against Leeds, a game that we won 6-2, you looked on the bench, you had Van der Beek, Pogba, Cavani, Telles. Real strong bench. Mason Greenwood on there as well. Dean Henderson's your backup goalkeeper. Our squad's really starting to move into a healthier place. It's not the healthiest it could be. It's not perfect. There's still areas we're missing in, but it's getting there. Do you expect to see huge rotation in this game? Do you want to see huge rotation? Do you want to see our first 11, a similar 11 to what we saw go out already? But we have got a game on Boxing Day coming up as well.
Yeah, and that game's such a massive game against Leicester on Boxing Day. We're going to see some rotation almost certainly because we saw some rotation in the league. Like people weren't expecting Dan James to play against Leeds. Thought he played very well. Same with McTominay as well. You know, he came in and was United's best player. So we're definitely going to see rotation. And the fact that you mentioned the bench there, like even if all of those players just came in, you wouldn't even say it was a weak team or a bad squad. Or you know, you've got Cavani on, you've got Pogba, you've got Greenwood in there. Like this is a very good team we're talking about. We're definitely going to see rotation. And again, if it wasn't such a big match, maybe if it was, you know, Sheffield United at home, or if it was Fulham or Crystal Palace, although they've done us this season already. But you know what I mean? With it being Leicester, the team that's above us, the team that is also trying to fight for that sort of respect and to be taken seriously as a title contender. If it was anyone else or anyone of a lesser quality, I think we could maybe play our first team in the League Cup. But it's going to be a rotated side. But that for me doesn't mean it's going to be a shit team, because thankfully so far this season we've been very fortunate with injuries. I know Martial was out with, it wasn't an injury, it was suspension, and then Cavani was injured and Martial was injured for a little bit after that. But generally speaking, you know, Martial's back now, Cavani's back now. We've got no midfield injuries.
Mason's back.
Mason's back as well, but he wasn't quite the same as an injury, but it was, you know, obviously he was out. One of the things that defines the teams that win the league, you look at Chelsea a few years ago, you look at Leicester as a perfect example, you look at Liverpool, another perfect example. A lack of injuries is a huge thing when it comes to winning the league, because it's being able to play people consistently, being able to rotate and have your rotation options on the bench, rather than when all your best players are injured. Yes, you can play the likes of, you know, Pogba and Matic and Van der Beek can come in and you go, actually, that don't make us that much worse. But the problem is now when they need a rest, you've got no one, or you've got academy players, or you've got, you know, players who we never thought would play for United. So whilst we can keep this first team playing every week, I think we've got a really good chance of winning something, because it's not a coincidence that Leicester had the least injuries in the league when they won it. Liverpool had the least injuries in the league when they won it. I think Chelsea under Conte, the same thing. It's a massive part of winning the league, and you can't really do much about it. But so far, like you said, the squad's looking really good.
How you feel about the health of the squad and potential rotation ahead of this game?
It's the Christmas break's always hard because everyone's got the fixture congestion and everyone's trying to fight, and there's always like 2 or 3 big games and stuff like that, and you always see like one smaller team come and they've hit the form and they'll take someone out, and you'll be like, oh well, they've just dropped out of nowhere. Like Tottenham recently were top or round top, and they could end up being 8th or 9th by the end of next week. I think they might even be like near there now. But you look at the health of the squad, and this was exactly what people this time and these like this part of the season and the end of the season, if we're still in Europa League and stuff like that, there are times where you're like, this is why we bought Daniel van der Beek. This is why we kept Luke Shaw, Brandon Williams, and Taylor's on the right on the left hand side, and Williams obviously can play right. We've got rotation options there, and looking at the health of the team, you've got to say that at least in most positions, there's 2 or 3 players. The only player that is irreplaceable in the team is Fernandes. It's just...
But that's not because of positional, that's because of him, isn't it?
It's not position. It's
because of
we actually do have options in that position.
No, exactly.
They just are nowhere near as good as him.
Exactly. We have options in the position, and we probably have players of his quality in terms
See,
of
I'd argue that they... Remember, it's kind of like, you know, if you get Pogba or Van der Beek in that position...
Yeah.
Obviously, Bruno has certain qualities which are above theirs. But in terms of quality,
there's
not much difference.
There's not much difference.
But in terms of
it's the numbers, isn't it?
And it's also not just the numbers. It's the impact and the influence it has on the team as well, which is important.
Yeah, this was what I was going into. Like, you obviously,
Sorry, Case.
I was about to say this, Adam. So thank you for graciously swooping in and stealing my point. No,
we'll cut that bit out.
I was saying, no, you can leave it in. It's fine. But I was saying, like, you have Fernandes and you take him out. Yes, you could probably say Pogba or Van der Beek could play that number 10 role as well, but there's just something about that team when it has Fernandes in it, who just, with him in the team, it's like I never have to worry about, like, if I lose a ball, or obviously I worry about if I lose a ball because he'll absolutely shout my head off for doing it, but never have to worry about, I don't know who to pass to, because Fernandes will worked his ass off to get to a position that you can pass to. He'll try and play the ball. He'll notice people coming into positions. Like, people say about this 5-yard pass thing, which is just awful. But let me just roll you back to a not a long time ago, but when Andreas Pereira used to play number 10 for United, And we used to get him in those positions, and it wasn't like, oh, there's a guy running out the side who's completely unmarked. If he just passed it to him, and he'd probably have a good shot on goal. You see, Andreas Pereira has taken 7 shots this game and skied every single one of them from that position.
Okay, moving on now to the predicted 11 part of the show. Hope you boys are prepared. You are?
I'm very prepared.
What?
Very prepared, mate. Thank you for listening.
Swole back up.
You all right there, Casey?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're not worried by this idiot?
No.
All right, sweet.
He's not picking the team, so it's just a prediction, so it's fine.
Oh, shit.
It's a good team.
What's he trying to say about your team?
It's great.
I haven't seen it, so I have to say.
Anyway, Casey?
So I'll take you through my team. My team is start in net is Dean Henderson. Give him a start. It's in the cup. Why not? Right back, Wan-Bissaka. Centre backs, I've given Lindelof a rest, put into Anzabi with Maguire, and then left back, I put Brandon Williams. I think if Rodriguez plays again, he's going to be down that right-hand side, and you kind of need someone to get into him, show he's there, kind of knock his confidence a bit. And I'm not saying that Brandon Williams kicks the living hell out of people, but yeah, maybe he does. Throw him into a advertising board. We'll have to see. Anyway, then we'll go for on the pivot, we'll have Nemanja Matic and Donny van der Beek. Again, as I said before, Donny van der Beek, this is the match you sort of bought him for. Try and rotate. And obviously, McTominay picked up that knock during the game against Leeds, unfortunately, so he probably will not be playing during the midweek. Forward 3, I've kind of gone for, it's still Everton, still got to pay him respect. Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford, and in front, Edison Cavani.
So, you've mentioned you bring in Van der Beek for these kind of games when you can rest people, but I see Bruno and Rashford still starting. Do they not deserve a rest, Casey?
Do they not simply deserve a little respect enough to give them a rest, Casey?
A little R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
What you're saying is Marcus Rashford doesn't deserve a rest.
At the same time, it's they do deserve a rest, and I would say that rest them against maybe bottom of the table.
Christmas is Marcus's busiest time of the year.
Yeah,
that is true.
Presents.
I mean, he finished the match and he turned up at the Sports Personality Awards.
And then he had to go to the North Pole and see the Alps.
It's mad, isn't it, that I thought that. I saw that and I thought, that's weird. Rashford's, how's he got from there to there? It's like 3 hours between the two. And he lives right around the corner. But you assume that footballers, after a big match, they just have to lay down and get into one of those like sleeping pods for 3 days until the next game. But it's like, he's just a normal bloke who's gone out after work. Everyone does that.
You could see Old Trafford from
you literally can.
Solskjaer just kicks him into a cupboard, wraps him in bubble wrap and just leaves him there.
Because footballers think, well,
oxygen chambers.
He wouldn't have had any time to do anything else. Yeah, get back in your catatonic state.
They don't have lives other than...
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I'll teach him. I'll teach him my predicted 11, shall I?
There you go. Nice
I'm going to go with Henderson, Cup, give him a game. He wasn't great against Sheffield United, but he made up for
the same words when you said
I didn't
Henderson.
say Sheffield United, did I? Then I'm going to go Williams on the right, Lindelof, and Maguire and Shaw. Maguire plays every week when he's fit. Ollie's pretty much said as much last season. And as much as I like Tuanzebe and I like Bailly, he's only just back from injury, and Tuanzebe hasn't been excellent the last couple of times we've seen him. Although it may be a good time to see him. I just think he will go Lindelof because he likes that partnership. And then a midfield 3, Pogba, Matic and Van der Beek. And then Greenwood, Cavani. And I'm going to go Jesse Lingard on the left-hand side. Could do with a game. I think this is the sort of game where he might do quite well. And I do think Rashford needs a rest. And, Dan James played in midweek, or the weekend, so I don't think he'll play twice in a row. I think, give Jesse Lingard a go. He's often good in these cup competitions, so why not?
Scored a great goal at Everton once as well, which was good.
I mean, also...
You never had Pogba, which I've just noticed, which is weird.
No, I just don't think it's the game for him. I think, obviously, going into the sort of matches during the Christmas, we'll probably need him against Leicester. Obviously, Leicester have that midfield that just presses you, so having someone who can break it down and break the lines and stuff like that helps a lot. I think he'll actually be better against Leicester than if we played him against Everton. I feel like Everton is the sort of game where you need just someone to get around him, because obviously they play that weird 4-4-2 where it's Rodriguez on the right, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, who we're probably going to talk about at some point, going forward, and it's kind of the two pressing midfielders. So I feel like you don't need that much quality. You need to just get around him like that much and then get in front of the goal. Pogba against Leicester, I feel like, is where I think he's going to shine. So I think we're saving him for that game. I was just going to say about your starting 11, it's good because Lingard can play out wide and he can also play he does play out wide, but he kind of comes into the middle, so you're going to actually work as a diamond as well.
And he gets back quite well compared to some of the other wingers. Go on then, Adam, give us your team.
Does his have Pogba in it? Just after he's shunned mine for not having Pogba.
Well, okay, she could have just said, "Well, I've opted to save Pogba for For Everton, my 11. Okay. Dean Henderson in goal.
Yep.
And I have got you in my team, but not yet. Williams, Twanzebe, Maguire, Telles.
So
I've gone with Williams at right back.
Yeah.
Give AWB a rest. Matic, Pogba.
Yep.
Greenwood. Van der Beek. Marshall. Cavani.
How mad is that? Of that front six, only one of them started at the weekend, and we still put out a very strong team.
Still put out the best front four in the world.
Incredible, though, isn't it? What is it? Matic, Pogba, Greenwood, and Van der Beek, and Cavani. None of those started, and they're all great players. Yep. That is good depth, isn't it? That is nice. I like that team, actually.
Sick.
Yeah,
you got to change your team to that team.
No, I like my team better. I think give Lingard a go. I want some width out there. You don't really get as much width with that team.
Never has anyone said I like my team better because it has Lingard in it.
Yeah, they have. Me just then, and I like.
What's wrong with Lingard?
Yeah, cheeky shit.
I'm just being put on trial for everything I say so far.
Yeah, he is. I'm
feeling mischievous today.
He is.
Moving on to the opposition, and as Casey said a couple of minutes ago, we will be talking about DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, top goal scorer in the Premier League at the moment. But apart from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who strikes the fear in you from Carlo Ancelotti's side?
I like Alan.
Alan's out, by the way, so let me give you these injury updates. Will not play. Alan.
Yep.
Delph.
Yep.
Dinya. Gabamin. And Rodriguez is questionable.
Has Gabanin even ever played for
He's
him?
played like 3 games for him and he's been injured for 2 years. Very sad. Rodriguez is a good player. I don't think he's that good. I think maybe he could actually be good against us because those long balls to the back post, we saw Leeds doing it. We've seen every pretty much team we've played against. If you chip the ball to the back post, whether it's Wan-Bissaka, whether it's Tellers, whether it's Shaw, we don't defend that very well. So if they just, Rodriguez using his left foot, drifting balls over to the back post, you could see Calvert-Lewin or whoever it may be picking up space at the back post and having shots on target, which could easily, end in a goal. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin's a great player. I think he'll be their main threat. But yeah, I like Rodriguez. I think they've got a good team, but actually, you go through it player by player. There's only like 3 or 4 good players in that team, and Luca Digne is one of them, and he's not playing. So we've got to win. I know that they're a good team, and you don't want to underestimate them, and they have just beat Arsenal or whatever, but we saw against them that they've got frailties and they tried to attack us and we picked them apart by the end. It was pretty easy, that game. I know we went down and conceded first, but yeah, I think they're a good team and they've got some good players, but really, we're better than they are, surely.
Where do you rank Dominic Calvert-Lewin amongst the league strikers?
Currently, I'd say he's currently in...
On current form, but also...
On current form, he's easily like... top 6, I'd say, as the 6th.
It has to just be on current form, though, surely. Yeah, he's only been good for a year.
Because obviously, like, if
we're honest,
I mean, like, obviously,
that's his overall careers form.
I mean, like, if I say overall careers form, I could just
but the reason I say that is
because
someone could be having a bad season, but generally is a great player.
Marshall.
Yeah.
I like, Calvert-Lewin's good. Like, he's been good for about 8 months.
Yeah, but like,
which is fine, and he's good, but he's not. We talk about him. He's not Aguero or
very good.
Vardy or.
No, he's not there yet.
No, he's a good player and he's up and coming, and I like him. But I don't think he's one of those players where if he's not scoring, I don't think he does that much. And I know that he's got good work rate, he's got all this sort of stuff, but he don't run a game. He doesn't do what Harry Kane does, where everything goes through him and he's a great passer of the ball. He's a great assister. He brings everyone else in. He's a good player. We should be worried about him. But we saw against him last time. He's good at certain things, and if you can nullify those things, which I think Maguire is a great counter to Calvert-Lewin, actually, hopefully we'll be able to stop him scoring. Do you really like him? Are you a massive fan of him?
Not a massive fan. I rate him, though.
Yeah.
I think he's a good footballer. I can see him playing for like a City or potentially replacing Kane at Spurs if Kane was to ever leave. I can see that kind of move happening.
Would you have him at United?
That doesn't mean that Martial would...
I think Martial will score goals for United again, but I think we need more than 1 striker or 2 strikers. Anyway, you need to have a front. You have a front 3. You need 6 players, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, so we need 2 more.
So Martial could be the reserve.
But I wouldn't get Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Would you have him at United?
Jeff Haaland.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I think he's moving in that direction where in the future you'd go, I'd have him at United.
Yeah, if he keeps improving the way he has, I would.
Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, he's hit a vein of form. Like, I think in the earlier preview, Alex Baggers said that it was going to drop off. Which, I mean,
the preview for the last Everton game.
For the preview for the last Everton game a month ago. So kind of dropping him in it. It didn't drop off, but he's hit a decent vein of form, and he's obviously showing that he has those abilities. He's good in the air. He's good at timing his runs. He has like those attributes that we say that Cavani has in his sort of game, where he just knows when to time a run, which is good with Everton because they literally just ping it out left and right and then get it into the box. So having someone who runs in late fits their style of play perfectly. He's definitely in, I think, the top 5. So we have to be worried about him. And I think what you said before, they've got a good team that's very injured. Coleman, who's a very good defensive right back, I think he's coming back in, so he might be playing.
Did you say English is definitely Irish before?
You said defensive right back.
I said.
I thought someone said English.
No.
You said very good defensive right back, not English.
I thought you
right
said
back.
very
but
English.
Then again,
he's a very English right back, isn't he?
He's very English. Like, in fact, he's Irish.
Yeah, he's Irish.
Yeah, no, because we know
great
what
offence to saying English.
People are like, yeah, if you call my nan English, she'd probably chin you.
One thing you've been saying about that back post, I'm kind of glad Digne's not playing, because I've seen that move so many times where Digne does exactly what Angelino did against us at Leipzig, run that channel, get a ball pinged right over the top to him, and then he just either knocks it back across or just hits it a goal. And you could just see us conceding from that. So I'm glad that it'll literally be Rick Allison and Dominic Calvert.
Are you expecting them to go balls to the wall full? Like we will probably make 5, 6, 7 changes. Do you expect them to just go full speed ahead?
It'll be interesting when you'll tell about how they view this season, how they view this tournament. If they play their best team, then you think, all right, they're going for a trophy here. If they play a slightly weakened team, maybe they're going for top 6, top European competitions. But I don't expect them to rest too many players, because really, where are they going to finish in the league? They ain't finishing top 4. I know they started quite well, but we saw from the way they played against United, they aren't going to have the consistency to finish top 4 this season. And I think the fact that certain teams that were even outside of the top 6, or teams that, Tottenham barely scraped in the top 6 last season, much improved. You've got teams who may be falling out of the top 4, looking at Chelsea, who still want a Europa League spot. It's going to be really difficult for Everton to get Europa League or Champions League through the league. So I reckon they're probably going to go for it in the Cups.
Score predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Get them in the comments below. Man, I'm a bit nervous about this.
Oh, yeah. I think we'll win 2-1.
In normal time?
Yeah, normal time. Win 2-1. We're going to play a changed team, so I don't expect it to be 4-5-0 or creating loads of chances like we did against Leeds. I think we'll make some good chances. We'll concede some chances. Hopefully Henderson or whoever plays in net is on form, because we saw yesterday, just from the saves De Gea made, let alone the one that Bamford put wide and the one that Bamford headed over, you need a good goalkeeper in this United side, because defensively we aren't there yet. So hopefully we get that bit of luck, but I think we're going to score goals because we always make chances, and I think we'll go through 2-1.
Defo. Go on, Case.
I'm going to agree with Joe. I'm going to say 2-1. I think Cavani will get on the score sheet.
There's kind of like an unwritten rule where you're not allowed to pick someone else's prediction.
Okay, unwritten rule. 3-1. Cavani gets another one. He gets 2 instead.
Nice. I'm going to go
2-1.
He's been out for me this entire period.
I'm going to go 3-2 after extra time.
Ooh. Nice.
To
I'll take
United.
that. I don't mind that. Whatever, any victory in the cup, who cares?
Get through to the
Some of that
semis.
shit. Get through, yeah.
Hopefully get Arsenal, because they've managed to beat City.
Well, they might be good by then.
Nah,
Let's just get Brentford. Fuck it.
not if they've still got Arteta.
That's true.
Talking about Arteta, you can go and check out the latest Better Than Arteta on the Premier League piss take, where Joe's playing for a chance to get to the final where he could win a season as Arsenal manager.
Full season. And they're going to really back me as well. Give me 100 million to spend.
On that note, make sure you're following Casey, Joe on the old social media. Make sure you're keeping it locked. Stretford Paddock, like, comment, share. I am back on the watch along this week. You've got me on the watch along for the next couple of games.
Can't wait. You better fucking bring that winning form from the kickoff back here. None of this switcheroo thing. Like, you never won a game when you're on the kickoff, and you always won when you're on with us, except the Leipzig game. You better not switch it over now. Every time you're on Stretford Paddock, we lose. Not happening. We're winning.
21 is coming.
Leicester, we're winning. Everton, we're winning. We're going to drop points eventually.
But that will be once we've won the league.
Yeah, like Liverpool did last season.
Yeah.
Perfect. Lock it in, boys.
That's locked in.
God damn it.
Thank you for tuning in a bit.